I'm going to start out by saying that I'm not trying to dissuade anyone from buying what they want. The simpler things in life are what keep us going, and if purchasing a regular latte is what makes your day, then you should do what you love. But you should do it with your eyes open, and that is the subject of this video. I've put together a list of possible reasons one would buy a latte from their favorite cafe, and also why you might want to make your own beverages at home. These lists are by no means exhaustive, so there could be several other reasons for each cause. First list, why would I want to buy a latte at a local cafe? Well, it saves me time on my way to work. I can socialize with the barista or my friends during my visit. It gets me out of the house. It's hard to make my favorite latte at home. I can't make a latte at work, so I go out to pick one up. On the other side, why would I make a latte at home? You can actually save time, you can definitely save money, and you don't have to get dressed up to go out. You can spend more quality time with family and friends. As a full disclosure, I still do pick up my favorite beverage on average once per week, so this is in no way a criticism of anyone watching this video. Now that the excuses are out of the way, we can get down to the economics on the anatomy of a latte. I'll try to break down the data in a way that makes sense, with a possible solution that can help you if you wish to save any amount of money. If the calculations get too boring or you want to cut to the chase, I'm including a link below to a shared Google Sheet that you can use to make your own calculations. My wife's usual drink is a coconut milk cappuccino that costs $5.25 for a cup, and the upgrade to the milk alternative is to the tune of 70 cents. The consumption tax where I live is 13%, so the total for her latte is $6.72 when I leave the cafe. If I wanted to know how much it cost me in my pre-tax dollars, or how much of my salary it consumes, I'll have to find out my marginal tax rate. For most people making around $50,000 per year, that number is going to be around 30%. If you're close to the poverty line, your marginal tax rate will be around 20%. For me, my marginal tax rate is around 29%, so I'll use that number. Knowing how to calculate your pre-tax cost is not important, but here's the formula and the calculation for me. The cost of the price you paid out the door divided by the difference of your marginal tax rate from 100%. For me, that number is 71%. So for me, it cost $9.47 for her drink. Pretty expensive for a drink that started out at $5.25. How does that compare to my hourly wage? Well, $50,000 a year is about $24 an hour. The result is that I have to work almost 30 minutes to pay for the drink. I don't know about you, but it scares me to think that I almost work half an hour out of an 8-hour workday to pay for a latte that I had in the morning, especially if I were to buy one every day that I work. Roughly about 5% of my wages. So far I've talked about the well-documented part of the cost associated with the price of a latte, but there is a darker and deeper side of the cost as well that I want to talk about. 40% of Americans carry a credit card debt, and the average balance is close to $5,000. That may not be news to you as it wasn't to me. Being an average North American, I fell squarely into that category. The average credit card interest rate is at 16%. A lot of people have the unfortunate reality of having higher rates than that, so if you aren't using the money you spent on that latte to pay down your credit card, you're effectively paying that extra 16% on the cost of the latte as you walk out the door of the cafe. The other thing that most people don't know is that credit cards charge interest compounded daily on the balances, and that 16% is actually closer to 17%. So the $6.72 I originally calculated is actually more like $7.86 if I carry a credit card debt monthly at the end of the year, and that moves the cost closer to 6% of my salary. You can see from this exercise that having a credit card debt when buying a single latte isn't terribly detrimental to your finances, but I wanted to completely break down the cost of the latte for the average consumer, and that's simply only for one latte. That's great, you say, but really, what the hell does all this tax and credit card crap have to do with it? How is it affecting me? Well, just bear with me, it'll make more sense as we go. So the next thing I want to talk about is making a latte at home. A bag of ground espresso beans from my favorite cafe costs around $20, and with my consumption taxes, it's around $22.60 after taxes. And I can make about 22 double shot espressos from that, which works out to about $1.03 per latte for the espresso grinds. The cost of a 1 liter 30-ounce carton of alternate dairy product is around $2.25 after taxes, where I live, and my grande drink uses about 440 mils or 13 ounces, and that works out to be around 99 cents for the substituted dairy product. The total of the 103 and the 99 cents is $2.02. The difference between the home brew and the cafe brew is $6.72 minus $2.02, or around $4.70 per latte walking out the cafe storefront. I know I haven't included the cost of caramel topping, but I'm sure it will be nowhere near the $4.70 difference. If we bring that number closer to $4.50 for the different types of toppings you could put on your beverage, that would be realistic. That is if we don't have a regular monthly outstanding credit card balance. With the credit card balance, we are effectively closer to around $5.26 per cup of latte. My story is that I was picking up a latte for two of us 3 times a week, which works out to $31.20 per week extra that I was spending on lattes. Over the course of a year, that amounts to $1,622.40. If I didn't have a credit card debt, it would be around $1,466.40. An amount that is quite high considering it wouldn't be depriving us of something we wanted, just modifying how we obtained it. There is still the problem of the espresso machine cost. So if we take that into account, we can see that the cost for a $150 machine from Walmart, that would be around $169.50 after taxes, or $198.32 after credit card charges for a year. You can see that amount pales in comparison to the amount you would save. From my personal experience, I purchased an espresso machine in order to lower my costs, and I found that it did extremely well in reducing my discretionary expenses. As a matter of fact, I found that I had more time available as it took me about 10 minutes to make a latte/cappuccino with a teardown of the machine and wiped clean, compared to a 20-minute drive to the nearest cafe and back. My weekend mornings now involve me waking up in my PJs and brewing 2 drinks for us, not having to go out in the freezing cold weather and enjoying my time with my wife. The same can be said for our after-dinner lattes and desserts. That brings up another point. I found that I was buying desserts and at a lower cost and wasn't restricted to Cafe Showcase. Grocery store items hold well enough in the fridge, freezer, or even on my counter for some items like cookies. Now, I'm not saying I don't pay full price for my drinks anymore, but I find that the only reason I will is if I'm far away from home or if I need to go to my local Starbucks to pick up a bag of ground espresso beans. So they are still making money off me, and I don't really mind, as I do like them as a company. This experience has allowed me to keep everything in perspective. Could I have hunted for a cheaper machine? Maybe a used one? Could I use a single espresso shot in my drink? Can I just use dairy milk? Can I search for other ways of reducing my cost further? Sure, I could. I just didn't want to feel like I'd be making a huge compromise for something that, quite honestly, I really enjoyed. As a matter of fact, I found myself saving enough that I felt I wanted to make the experience more authentic, so I purchased a lot of items including a Starbucks airtight Airscape coffee grind canister, a travel container, a cup for home, and a glass cake stand with a cover. That way I don't feel like I'm ripping myself off. I think if you feel like you're not seriously cutting corners, it will be easier to swallow the changes, particularly if you know that it's for your own best interest. And you too might actually enjoy that cup of coffee at home a little more while putting away a little cash. I also find that I can meter my drinks better, so that if I only want a small latte in the morning and another small latte or 2 later in the day, I'm not forced to go out over and over again. And I don't have that nagging feeling in the back of my mind that I really am spending too much on lattes. If you have any doubts about your ability to make your favorite beverage, just ask the barista how they are making it. Just make sure they aren't terribly busy and be sensitive to other people in line. It's easier to pick a day when they are not busy. You can easily source the ingredients they use online to make your beverages, including the green tea matcha powder that is in the latte I regularly order. If you only buy one latte when you're at work, you might want to consider talking to your boss and asking if you could bring in an espresso machine. You may be even able to get a few people to pitch in and purchase a nice machine. Or your boss may even consider buying one for you if you can convince him that you would be saving the company time and money, and it would be a value added to the employees. You could technically even skip the drive-thru in the morning and make a latte when you get to work. That way you can punch in and get paid to make your latte. Talk about a time saver.